welcome back to the show. The New York Center for Children has provided bilingual trauma-focused comprehensive evaluation as well as therapy services to victims of child abuse and their families. Now, the organization also provides tutoring, mentoring, and extracurricular events in New York City. And joining us now and sharing more details, we're pleased to have the executive director of the New York Center for Children, Christine Crowther. And Christine, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Darren.
Well, I do know that this month is also Child Abuse Prevention Month, and so bringing some awareness. And when it comes to the issue of child abuse, how prevalent is it?
It is very prevalent, unfortunately. I think people are surprised when they hear the statistics. The estimates can vary, but a pretty conservative estimate is 1 in 5 children will have experienced childhood trauma and abuse by the time they're 18. In New York City, it's over 50,000 every year that have been reported for abuse. And in the country, it's over 3 million a year that are reported for abuse. And people often have the theory, and which we believe in, is that there are many more cases of abuse than are reported. So it's estimated that 2 or 3 times as many cases of abuse than are reported. So the numbers are astronomical, and we are here to help children heal and to help bring awareness to abuse, and also to help try to prevent abuse as much as possible.
And when we talk about pretty prevalent, you gave some statistics, but 50,000 cases, more than 50,000 cases of child abuse actually reported in New York City each year. And that means there are a lot of people who are out there hurting and in need of services. So, Christine, when somebody comes through your door and they're a victim of abuse, walk us through how you're able to help them to navigate.
Yes, so our primary service that we provide to children and families is therapy. So it's trauma-focused therapy, and the children come and they work directly one-on-one with a social worker who is a therapist, who's an expert in dealing with child abuse and trauma. And the child will come on a weekly basis for as long as necessary, completely free of charge. And they come every week and spend an hour with the therapist. And then the average length of therapy is about 1.5 years. And over the course of therapy, they work on the trauma symptoms. The child helps, share what happened to them with the therapist. And through that process, healing occurs. And, we will stay with the child as long as needed. If it's 2 or 3 years that they need therapy, we will, provide it as long as necessary, because we really believe in the long-term benefit of helping children heal through our service.
And when we talk about the victim themselves, we think many times unknowingly that when we talk about victims of child abuse, there's always this mental mindset, and a lot of times that it's somebody on the outside. Right. But the reality is that's not so.
Yes, in most cases, the abuser is someone the child knows and trusts. And especially when it comes to sexual abuse, it's almost always also physical abuse and emotional abuse. And neglect is almost always a parental figure. So unfortunately, it's, we hear so many stories of parents, uncles, grandparents, cousins, caretakers that are the ones that are abusing the children.
And I shared earlier about 50,000 people or cases, I should say, when it comes to child abuse and neglect reported annually in New York City. I want to highlight the fact that we're talking about reported cases of abuse, but the fact is there's so many other people who don't come and report. How hard is it for somebody to really come through your doors and admit this embarrassing, horrific, traumatic event has actually occurred in their lives?
Well, I mean, I think the stigma of abuse is declining since I've been here, which is a good thing, so that people and the awareness of the importance of mental health is also increasing. So I think those are 2 good things, that people do realize that if something traumatic has happened, that the family needs help. And we do work with the family, not just the child, the non-offending family members. We provide support. So I think once they arrive at a door and they see our center, which is very child friendly, and they meet our therapists who are very, nurturing and experts in their field, I feel that, there is no problem once they get here. I think maybe before they get here, maybe the problem, but once they've, recognized that they need help or their child needs help, then it's, a very positive experience.
You talk about reporting, right? There's the reporting of the actual abuse, and then there's the actual part where people come through their doors
Yes.
to be able to receive assistance. Are most people that reporting finding their way through doors to get help?
That is a good question. I think what happens for us is often it is sometimes the family themselves that come to us, but it's often a professional that refers the child to us. So they become involved, with child welfare system, or they, their school may refer to us, or their legal guardian, their law guardian, or the judge. So sometimes it's a professional who's already involved who refers them to us. And sometimes it's the family themselves. I think, to your point, that I have seen statistics where I think this is country, nationwide, where like half of the children who need services are not getting services. I don't know what the percentage is in New York City. It may be better that there are more services available in New York City, and more awareness and more coordination. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure that there are many families that need help that are not getting help, but we're here, and there are many other organizations and there's many others who are trying to help these children and families, and we work in partnership with them.
So tell me a little bit about the services provided. We talk about group therapy. How effective is it to put a child or put a family in a group setting to be able to talk their situation through?
It's very beneficial because children, in addition to receiving support from their therapists, they receive children or adolescents or parents who've been through similar experiences, and it's very validating for them. They can feel they're not alone. We've done groups with children in foster care, and children entering foster care and children leaving foster care, and many of these children have similar experiences and feelings that other children may not understand or relate to. So it's very beneficial and comforting for them to feel less alone and less stigmatized, and have some other children that understand them, not just their therapist who's an adult. So it's very positive.
And Christine, before we go, talk to our viewers, if there's somebody out there and there may be abuse within the household, or they know somebody that's abused when it comes to the issue, how do they go about reaching out and getting the help they need?
Okay, well, first of all, if there's a neighbor or family member where they suspect abuse and it should be reported, there's a state central registry, New York State Central Registry hotline number that they should report the abuse. And then if the abuse has already been reported and they need our help, they can reach out to us directly at our phone number, which is 212-517-3012, or email at info@newyorkcenterforchildren.org. And even if we are not able to provide the services directly, we can provide consultation, resources, referrals to other organizations that may be able to help them, depending on where they are in the process.
Well, thank you so much, Christine, for giving us this much needed information. I think it's helpful, and hopefully we've helped somebody today. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much for spreading awareness during April, which is Child Abuse Prevention Month. We really appreciate it.
Oh, our pleasure to be able to do it. And it's sad that that it has to be like that. As we said, more than 50,000 cases reported annually in New York City alone, many more unreported. Now, if you want more information, please visit the website at newyorkcenterforchildren.org. Now, we do have more show. We encourage you, please don't go anywhere. Open continues right after this.